Hi, my name's Joe, and I'm currently working in Nics Church as a youth missioner. I moved here about a year ago from the mighty city of Liverpool, where I've been living there for 10 years. As you might guess from my accent, I'm not originally from there. I've lived all over, but my family's from Essex. I moved here with my wife Rebecca, who is studying to be a deacon or priest at Cranmer Hall in Durham. So, the first time I encountered Jesus, I was brought up in a family of people who believed and followed Jesus, but the first time that it really became real for me was I had a really profound experience when I must have been maybe 8 or 9, and I was at a service which is very church language, is called the Maundy Thursday Vigil, which in reality what it is it's a celebration about the gift that Jesus gave to us in his life and in what that means to us. So I was quite young, and Maundy Thursday is about the day that Jesus brought his followers together, and it's like the pinnacle of the story of Jesus, where he brings all his friends together and they share this meal, which is something Jesus loved to do, loved to eat with people. And it's a meal that he shares with his friends, and he talks about how his life is a gift of love for everybody, and how that we can remember this love by sharing this meal with each other. And it's this amazing story and this amazing gift that he's talking about, how we are forgiven and loved. And there's this moment in the meal where, at this kind of the high point of all of it, one of his followers decides he can't do that. He can't be this person of love. He can't forgive, and he chooses to leave these friends. And Jesus then goes and prays in a garden, and with his friends, and all of his friends fall asleep, and he just has this beautiful prayer with God where he kind of gives his life to God in love. And in the church we celebrate this by eating together and then sitting in prayer for that evening. And it was a beautiful sight in this church. They built all these candles, and I just remember as a really child just being amazed about this story of love and friendship, and the kind of the real power of that, but the real upset that some people just can't accept that life of love and accept that life of forgiveness, and really feeling kind of God move in me to be challenged to be a person of love and to go and be an example of that love in the world. And kind of sat there, so I'm amazed looking back, I sat there for hours in front of these lights and kind of just thinking about what it meant to be a person of love. And the kind of real challenge at the end of it, and it's a moment that still kind of sits with me to this day. So being a follower of Jesus is an amazing gift. It's something I didn't take seriously for so many years, that actually the kind of transformation of really knowing Jesus in your life and really having a relationship with Jesus, and that kind of living embodiment of what it means to be a follower. It is the joy to know that you're loved and deeply loved for who you are, kind of transforms all elements of my life in ways that only when I started taking that seriously was that apparent. And the freedom and the joy of knowing that means that I can be more confident, I can be more relaxed, and it's been truly wonderful. It's impacted my relationships. I met my wife through following Jesus, and really being able to kind of live a life together which is kind of rooted in love, and not just kind of love of each other, but kind of being able to kind of walk together outwardly, loving the world, has been a gift that has been amazing. What gives me hope? God gives me hope. A God of love gives me hope. And hope's a hard thing to find at the moment, I feel. We live in a society that is increasingly feels more divided and feels like there's a lot of hatred and fear going around at the moment, and there's a lot of things that are causing that. But my hope is rested in what Jesus did, and what can often feel like happened thousands of years ago, but actually is alive in our community and across the world. People of love who are really trying to transform this world. And so the fact that I know there are millions of people out there who are concentrating on loving each other and loving God gives me hope that whatever difficulties we're facing in our society, in our world, in our environment, that we can overcome this, and God will lead us to a better way. So my biggest prayer is that we can find love, and that we can be a people of love, that the whole world can be joined in loving themselves, loving each other, and loving our creation. That if we can rediscover that way, rediscover really who it is we're meant to be as people of love, and love means people of peace, of acceptance, that we can transform this world into the world it is meant to be. So that is my prayer every day, that every day we can take a step towards being more loving, and therefore more like God and more like Jesus.